Hello, and welcome to session 3. Once again, I've already explained what this is. Check out the first session video if you want to know what this is all about. Um, yeah, let's just get straight into it. So, session 3, the topic is coming in from Jair. Shout out to him for the topic idea. And so, the topic is or mainly about 7th and 8th grade, my junior high years, and also high standards I had for myself when I was in those years of junior high. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start the 15 minutes right about now. Okay, so this one is kind of a confusing topic in a way. Well, not so confusing, like I don't know what to talk about, but there's multiple things I could really go off on. Now, back in 7th and 8th grade, this was the year I really turned around and switched my personality. So, when I was in elementary school, I just only had a set group of friends that I hung out with. I never, you know, did anything. I never really tried anything new. I always just wanted to stay inside, play video games, do nothing, not make any new friends, not try to go out and get involved in anything, because I thought if I did, I would somehow turn into a bad kid, and that's the one thing I didn't want to do is become a bad kid. Now, I once I say that, I realize that I've kind of wasted once again those years that I had before. I always talk about how I wish I could just go restart my life and fix all the things that I really regret that I did when I was younger. But that's not really the topic. That might be a topic for another day, but for now, this is just about 7th and 8th grade. So when I came into 7th grade, it was the first week went by, and man, it was completely new. Man, me and my set group of friends, we were really new to everything, and you know, just we were just trying to get through it, but also learn the vibe that was being brought to us throughout high school or junior high. And I have got to say it was quite an experience for me because I started to realize that I wanted to grow. Yeah, I'm new to the school, but the thing is, I really want to grow all of a sudden. I want to learn new things. I want to get involved. I want to go try some new things. Because for me, it was another start. It was a whole restart for school. I went through my elementary years, regretted a bunch of stuff, so I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to try to fix it going through junior high and into high school through a whole new school with a bunch of kids I've never even seen before. So 7th grade comes around, 1 week in, it's nothing's really changed for me, but I realize that my friends or my future friends, they're my friends now. They've been my friends for a long time now, but back then they were my future friends. I didn't really know this then, but they had a set table already where they would sit, and I realized that they took up most of the table, but there was always just a few spots left. And I was really starting to get like not saying bored, but like I said, I just wanted to grow and I wanted to go try something new. So I would head out, and then every time I'd come out of the lunch line and head to my seat, I would always see that group of kids there, that table. They're in my grade and everything. Like I know them, I'm not friends with them. And I would walk by every single day, and this went on for about 2 weeks, but then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna go and see what I can do. And headed over there, I mean, I was really nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I made sure that I was going to stay quiet and not really try to cause any problems, not try to make myself seem super weird or anything, because I knew I wasn't one that would fit in so well. So I decided, I'm just going to be super quiet. I'm just going to ask, hey, is it okay if I sit with you guys? I did. I went up, asked if I could sit with them. They were like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that reaction. I thought, no, I don't know. No, they were like, yeah, of course you can sit here. And I was like, bet. And so I sat down, and I'm glad that I just stayed quiet because I didn't want to, cause any problems, make myself seem super uninteresting, or just someone that no one wants to really be around. And I had sat there for about another week or so, and my other group of friends, my set group of friends, had started to realize this. And they were asking, "Yeah, why are you sitting with them now?" And they were kind of like getting upset about it. And I was like, "Well, I just want to try something new." And I said, "Hey, you should like come sit with me in our in this new table with all these other kids." And they were kind of like hesitant to the idea, but I mean, it was on them at the time. I was kind of like, I just want to try new things. I'm sitting with these guys. I'm learning so much so quick. I mean, I was like, man, they're so different, and I think it's something I truly want to be around. I really enjoyed my time. I remember coming away with such great memories from those lunch tables and stuff, and it was it was just kind of the starting point to who I am now. I will never forget that moment of going up and asking, "Hey, is it okay if I sit with you guys?" That one leap that I took, that's what really made me into who I am today, and I'm really glad I took that leap. I don't know what I would be like if I didn't take that leap. I don't know how far I would have gotten. If I would have been better, I don't think so. If I would have been worse, probably. But yeah, that's the one part that really set me into motion. Now, for me, high standards were from my dad. He was really trying to make sure I wasn't going to screw up. I wasn't going to, ruin anything because these years started to count. This is where college was starting to come into my mind and like, okay, I've really got to focus here because if I don't, I'm going to be screwed for later. And it's funny because I also took the leap of trying to make new friends and I didn't know what they were going to offer me. And I kind of risked it in a way, but I'm glad that I risked it because I still managed to get through high school and junior high with meeting those high expectations, but also managing to become someone new. And I grew a lot. I remember my friends like hearing like, well, the future friends. I'm gonna just call them the future friends, even though they're my friends right now. But back then they were my future friends. My future friends were like so shocked. They were like, "Man, like you don't do anything like crazy. Like you've never done any bad things." And I remember like telling them, "No, like I was shocked that they even asked that because I've never experienced the other side before." And they were like, "Oh, like they were trying to like get me comfortable." And I really appreciate it because I did start to get like really comfortable and stuff. And this is where those high expectations were starting to get risky. Like I really wanted to make sure I wasn't annoying, didn't act any bad way, didn't dress any bad way, even though there really wasn't you could do that was like really bad about dressing. But also talking in like bad language or anything. But I admit that yes, I did end up starting to use bad language with them because I feel like it related to them a lot more. And I remember it was like a huge moment for me. I feel like I just grew so much after starting to use that kind of language at the beginning. And I remember I would always wear in the wintertime jeans, a sweater, not a hoodie, not a zip up sweater, just a sweater and a polo shirt under it. And I remember like people would tell me like, "Oh, you're a classic man," because that's when the Classic Man song came out. It was a big hit back then. And it was funny, and they were like telling me, "Oh yeah, you're the classic man, huh?" And I always like try to make sure that I was meeting my dad's expectations, also meeting my expectations at the same time of trying stuff that was new. Now, seventh grade didn't end the best way, I tell you that. That's when I was, because you can't just go through something without making huge mistakes and learning from them. And that's what I did at the end of seventh grade year. I made huge mistakes, and I definitely have learned from them. Um, Poor buddy Jacob, sorry. Even though I didn't really say anything, I didn't really do I didn't really snitch anyone out. It's just I said something and the word kind of got out. It's not like I went and told a teacher or anything. It just the word got out. But that story, that's for another day, for another session, for another topic. But I definitely learned because I started making really big mistakes with my friends, and I remember they kind of took it bad. Like they were like, well, I was like messed up, and I remember I would sit at their table and I didn't want to talk because I knew how they felt about me. But even though I did something bad, they were still like, we don't care. We're still gonna respect you. It's just a mistake. I mean, as long as you learn from it, you're fine. And I definitely bonded over them with that, and I'm glad that they even treated me like that. Because I can imagine so many other kids, so many other groups of friends out there could just bail on you so quick after one thing and say, oh yeah, you're not my friend anymore, you shouldn't be with us. No, these guys still brought me in and still respected me, and they gave me so much time to really think and realize what I just did. And going into 8th grade, I you can tell hormones really started to take control. I started doing a lot of bad stuff that I once again wish I could just take back. It was funny at the time. My future friends loved it. They thought it was hilarious. And I feel like it kind of merged me, or I don't know what the word is, but it kind of turned me into who I am and who I'm like known for. But it's something that I wish I really wouldn't have done. That's one of my big regrets. That's also another topic. Oh, there's so many topics coming from this. I'm telling you, every year of high school or junior high has so many memories that I've got with it. No, but 8th grade was another big year. It was we added a few new students. Also, yeah, back in 7th grade, Keyshawn and I met for the first time, and I'll be honest, I knew him before junior high. I knew him in elementary school. He didn't go to my school in elementary, but he switched over to Wendover High in junior high. And I tell you, like, I didn't know much about him, and I didn't know how he was. But I mean, he took the first step to actually talk to me. I remember the first words he ever said to me. We were in our English class, Mr. Orman's class, and he goes, "Oh man, what did he say?" I thought it was hilarious. Oh man, I'm trying to remember right now. Because I remember he was sitting to the right of me and I was sitting to the left, and we were in our own desks. And he turns to me and he goes, "Oh, I remember what he said." He said, "Bro, this class is mad boring, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I just kind of looked at him and we both smiled. And after that, like, I started to become cool with him. And I'm really glad that he even got to talk to me first, because I feel like me and him have just gotten to another level of friendship that not a lot of people can say they have. And I'm glad that I did, because I love that guy. I love all my other friends too. It's just 7th and 8th grade, man, was such a big time for me. Is like I said, it's when I really turned into someone else. I went from being that one kid that would snitch on everyone, that one kid that would try to boss other kids around in elementary school and stuff and try to live up to the expectations and just be someone that no one really enjoyed having around. And then I switched and I kind of apologized to them, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to be like that. I want to switch. I want to join you guys. I want to know what it's like. And I'm glad I did. It just turned me into someone I really enjoy being. I'm really happy all the time. I can never say I've actually been sad or depressed. Um, and it's just awesome. Seriously. Like I said, 8th grade was another big year because, like I said, in 7th grade I dressed a certain way. I made sure I didn't talk in a bad way or anything. But 8th grade is when I was like, okay, I'm really comfortable now. I just spent a whole year with these guys. I've learned so much. We had such great times. I've made mistakes with them, but I've now learned, and I just realized, you know what? I'm really comfortable with these guys. I'm gonna try to just go with them. See what goes on after this, because I felt like they had so much to offer, and I just knew these guys were so different. If you were to compare us to any other class that's been through Wendover High, you would say our class is probably the most unique, the most special, the most talented, the most gifted class that's probably ever came through Wendover High. And I'm just glad that I could even be a part of it. And I'm glad that I joined it. And I also was class president of junior high, both 7th and 8th grade years. It was pretty fun, honestly. I just didn't like having to do like the bulletin board and stuff and having to deal with all the other stuff like class shirts and I don't know. I just didn't really like it. I'm kind of like, yeah, it looks good on resumes, but honestly, I'm okay if I just didn't do it because it was kind of like a waste of time to me. Well, that's all the time I have. This was talking about my 7th and 8th grade years, my high expectations I had. Once again, shout out to Jair for giving me the topic. This has been session 3. Pretty good session, I believe. And I mean, when I was talking through, you can obviously tell that I have a bunch of ideas for other sessions now. And yeah, I'd like to thank you all so much for listening, and be sure to watch out for session 4.